All right, let's clap it up for the Most High in Christ. Right. So we're the Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible, history, archaeology, and anything else you may need for your understanding. I am Priest and Officer Yahweh Thumb, and I'll be teaching today's class, which is the Dayton, Ohio, the Isupk Dayton, Ohio Law class. Of course, if anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to put it in the chat. But with that being said, we're about to rock out. So for anyone that's been following us, give me 1 second. For anyone that's been following us, we've been in the book of First Maccabees, and we've been breaking it down chapter by chapter. It's a heavy book because it gives us the history of how we even got into the New Testament, where Paul is talking to no Jew nor Greek. That whole history happens in the Maccabees. When Christ is talking about going to all nations, the beginning of that history happens in the Maccabees. It happens in the Old Testament too, but to understand the concept of it, it happens in the book of the Maccabees. So we're going to continue in the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13, verse 1, reading down. Again, if you can follow along, that's in the Apocrypha. Any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to put it in the chat. We're about to rock out. So with that being said, it's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 13, verse 1. Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroyed it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together. So right now what you have is, once again, Israel is having to go to war. They're having to go to war against a king or a ruler that's trying to destroy Israel, trying to destroy Judea specifically. Like I said, invade the land of Judea. Why Judea? Because that was our capital, especially at that time. So again, understanding the history of the Bible is vital to understanding the Bible. If you don't understand the history of the Bible, it's going to be very hard to conceive what the Bible is truly saying. So again, this is during the time where Simon was ruling. Simon was one of the glorious brothers of Judas Maccabees. If you don't know Judas Maccabees, I encourage you to read up on Judas Maccabees. He's one of the greatest Israelites that no one talks about. And it's simply because his story is put in the book of the Maccabees. But the brother is valid. The brother is true. He was real, just like all the other Israelites. And he was one of the mightiest men, not only when it came to war, but loving his people, loving his culture to the death. And that's what the Lord commands all of us today to do. We should love us above everything else. We should love us above America. We should love us above, like, you understand, the biggest clue that we should love us above America is the fact that America is our place of slavery, of oppression, of being a hostage. So that was one of the biggest clues the Lord gave us, to say, okay, no matter how good you feel it gets, remember, they enslaved you. This is the place that literally took the land from right up from under you. This is not your place of rest. We have to remember these things, all because it's a little better than what it was. What it was should have never been. See, we can't say it's a little better than what it was and think that, well, it's better than that. That's not salvation. You understand? That's not peace. That's not heaven. That's not having your own land. So these are the things that these brothers that we're about to read about, that we've been reading about, understood, and they fought for, they lived for. And we're going to get into detail with that a little bit more. Give me 1 second. One second. All right. So First Maccabees 13, verse 2. And saw that the people was in great trembling and fear. He went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together. So the people were in fear. They knew someone was trying to invade them. They understood a heathen nation. They were trying to take us down. And look at what this brother did. Verse 3, and gave them exhortation, saying, ye yourselves know what great things I and my brethren and my father's house have done for the laws in the sanctuary, the battles also and troubles which we have seen. When he says that, he's talking about his brother Judah Maccabees, Jonathan, all those. You understand? His father Mattathias. I mean, you're talking about being a glorious father. If any man wants to learn how to be a father, you read about Mattathias. Mattathias will teach you how to be strong for your sons. I guarantee you won't have to worry about your sons putting on a dress if you come up under the order of a Mattathias. You read up on Mattathias and you order your household like that, you won't worry about your sons wearing dresses, selling drugs. You understand? Being a Christian. You won't worry about your daughters having 10 baby daddies and 5 kids by whoever else and now trying to be this, trying to be that. You won't worry about that because he understood how to put order in his household to the point to where it's prevailing generations down the line as we're reading right now. Again, this is all happening in the book of First Maccabees. It's a glorious book. I encourage everyone to read it. So he says, verse 4, by reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. So all his brothers were slain for the sake of Israel. What's going on, man? Oh, I'm in class. Oh, no. What's going on? You need something? You can have it if you want it. Okay, don't sweat. Most High Christ. All right, so back to verse 4. This is First Maccabees 13, verse 4 in the Apocrypha. By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. That's everybody we just named. So he was the last brother to live through every war, every battle they went through for the sake of the Lord, for the sake of the Lord's law, for the sake of the Lord's people. Because that's what matters if you truly serve the Lord. You understand? But now we're about to get to something. We're about to, if you stay with me, we're about to open up your mind because he's about to do something, and then we're going to show how he understood the knowledge of how to do these things. So anyway, read on. Verse 5, now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. So what he's saying is my brothers died for this, and I ain't no better than them. I'm ready and willing to die for this. See, to serve the Lord, that's the spirit you have to be in. I'm not saying go do crazy things to unalive yourself. That's not what this is about. But when it comes to serving the Lord, you have to stand strong in the fact that I will not be religious. You have to stand strong in the fact that, nope, I'm not voting for whoever because they have nothing to do with me and my people. That's against the laws of God. You have to stand strong in obeying the laws of God. You have to stand strong in loving your people, even when your people don't love you. This is what Christ was talking about when he said, turn the other cheek. He wasn't talking about just to anybody. He's talking about to your brother, to your sister, because you're supposed to be in the knowledge. But your brother or sister is still out here being American. They still thinking $20 is a reason to break the whole family up. You know better. So you have to turn the other cheek. That doesn't mean be simple and give them handouts or do whatever. No, but that does mean don't do what the common person would do to them for the transgression they put against you. You know what that means. I got to keep it internet friendly. You're not going to go upside their head. You know what? I'm going to turn the other cheek. You got that one. I'm going to just stay away from you. You don't understand. If you want to understand, I'm here whenever you want to understand. Because what did Christ also tell us? Forgive our brothers 70 times, 7 times. Meaning we'll always be open and ready to forgive them whenever that time comes. But right now, I just got to turn the other cheek because you're not ready for that forgiveness. Right now, you're still trying to go be American. Right now, you still think, hot girl summer, or you still think selling drugs, or you still think something like that is okay. No sweat. I'm going to just turn the other cheek. And I'll wait for you to come to me because I'm going to be in this truth. I'm going to serve the Lord because I got the spirit of Judah Maccabees and his brothers, of Mattathias and his sons, of Simon, the last brother to stand. I will live, ride, and die for this. And I don't care who likes it because that's what the Lord called me to do. That's the spirit you have to be in. And that's not just brothers, sisters too. We got glorious sisters that put their life on the line for the sake of their people. You don't believe me? Read the story of not Judas. What in the world? The story of Esther. You read the story of Esther, you'll understand that sister put her life on the line for her people. Esther was risen to a point of being the greatest woman on earth at that time. And the only thing she cared about was her people. Her whole duty and work was for her people. Imagine being the first woman or the first lady. I'm not going to say Donald Trump because most of y'all don't even want to think about being with him. But let's say Barack was in there. Whatever president you want to put in there. And everything that's happening in America is going against your people, which is a reality. For the most part, it is. Would most of our sisters get to that position, have that power, have that voice, and use it for the benefit of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? I'm not going to answer it for you. I'll let you answer it. Because that's what Esther did. She got to that point and said, I need to speak for the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I need to make sure that they're okay. That's what I care about. That's the spirit of serving the Most High God. Let's keep reading. So First Maccabees, where we at? 13. Hold on. First Maccabees 13 or 12. Oh Lord. 12. Where am I at? Am I gonna have to get my apocrypha? I might have to get my apocrypha. See, my phone acting up on me. Been all type of technical difficulties today. Oh Lord, where's my apocrypha? You know what? I'll just get it right here. You got to stay locked and loaded with your scriptures. Technical difficulty, you just move on to the next one. Let's get it. All right, so First Maccabees 13. Verse, we'll start at 4 and read down. By reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake, and I am left alone. Now therefore be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. Verse 6. Doubtless I will avenge my nation in the sanctuary, and our wives, and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. Do you understand what that brother just said? That brother just said, doubtless, meaning I will not have any doubt in doing this. I know for a fact this is what the service of the Lord calls me to do. What does it call me to do? Avenge my nation. People wonder why we come against sin so hard. Y'all always speak against the LGBT community, the LGBTQ community. Why do y'all always speak against, I'll just say hot girl summer? Why do y'all speak against abortion? Why do y'all speak against religion? Why do y'all speak against these things? Because that's the war today. Meaning what? What do I mean? Meaning, are we physically going to war? As of right now, no. The war is spiritual. How is it spiritual? Because guess what? God already told us that the LGBTQ community was not for us. It's not what we do. I'm in class, right? What do you need? You hurt yourself? Okay. You be all right? You strong? That's my guy, all right. Most High Christ. So, what's the war today? Again, it's spiritual. There's a gay agenda. There's a drug agenda. There's a whoredom agenda. There's a good Lord. There's a religious agenda. These are all agendas that go against what the Lord told us to do. That's the war we have to fight today. I could go unalive any and everybody, and let's say I unalive 1 million heathens. It does no good because our people still believe in the LGBTQ community. Our people still believe in Christianity. So it does no good to go unalive nobody right now. Right now, we need to unalive what? Ourselves. Meaning what? I need to take me out of America. I need to take my mindset from what America trained me to be. That's how we fight the war on us today. You understand? I gotta stop thinking Christmas is okay. When did God tell me that? What verse in the Bible told me to serve Christmas? Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the unalive of our ancestors. It's almost like celebrating slavery, because that's truly the beginning of slavery. Literally, the slavery that we serve here in America, that was the beginning of it, Thanksgiving. So why are we so excited about serving Thanksgiving? It's because of the agenda that's been put on us. We are excited to do whatever America tells us because we are true Americans. And guess what? That is against our God. Everyone, even this, the crazy thing about it is, even when I was in a Christian church, they would tell you America is daughter Babylon. They would tell you that. So my natural inkling was like, okay, if America is daughter Babylon, why are we joined to her? Like, we do everything America says is okay, and we hate everything America says is not. Why are we joined to America when even the Christians will say, yes, America's daughter Babylon, it will be destroyed. What do you think it's going to be destroyed for? Because it has a Leviticus community against the children of Israel. You understand? Same thing with Sodom and Gomorrah. Ain't that what it said in Revelations? Spiritual Sodom in Egypt. That's what this place is. So why do we want to be one with it? It's because of the agenda that's been put on our mind again. And that's the war we're fighting. You understand? Just like Simon was fighting a physical war, we're fighting that same thing spiritually. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's even worse, because at least then we could see the enemy. I knew who the enemy was. It's those people, those nations come around about us. They look like they want to take our heads off. Okay, that's the enemy. Simple. We got to get ready to rock and roll. We can fight that battle. Win, lose, or draw, because we understand what we fight. But this battle right here in America, most of our people, they want to be one with the enemy. They want to be one with the battle. They don't understand. Every time you sit there and say something as simple as happy birthday, the enemy wins. Every time you do something as simple as say Merry Christmas, the enemy wins. Something you do as simple as I'm going to get me a seafood boil, the enemy wins. See, the enemy understands how to destroy us because the enemy has been doing this for thousands of years. Again, this all goes into the history. This is why we're in the book of First Maccabees, which is the Greek captivity, the beginning of the Greek captivity. Most people don't even know Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Great, he's actually recorded in the Bible. You go to the beginning of First Maccabees, you actually see Alexander the Greek, or Alexander the Great, recorded in the Bible, the beginning of his reign. Why? Because he enslaved us, along with many other people, don't get me wrong, but God only cared about him enslaving us. So therefore, yeah, you're going to get in here. And right now we're reading what branched off from it. So let's keep going into it. So he says, doubtless I will avenge my nation. This is First Maccabees chapter 13, verse 6. Doubtless I will avenge my nation in the sanctuary and our wives and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice. Now, as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived. Y'all ever went to the church where they say, oh, we're going to have a revival? That's what a revival looks like. When you gather your nation together, you understand? Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. See, that's in the scriptures. He understood gathering us together is a powerful thing. There's not many more things more powerful than gathering blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans together. You understand? And that's in the Bible. Zephaniah 2:1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. That's you, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We are an undesirable nation. I don't know what else the world can do to prove it anymore. Already gave us chattel slavery. Already gave us redlining, the civil rights. What else? You got ICE today. I mean, you got Donald Trump for the president. What? He took away every award that the black people won from their military might. You understand? I mean, what more do you need to know? We are the nation that's not desired. Listen to what he says. Gather yourself together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desire. Verse 2, before the decree bring forth, which is what we see today. That decree is being brought forth. That's why you see all these wars and rumors of wars, right? Before the day passes the chaff, because that day will pass. Before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you. Before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. You understand? That's what we're trying to do right now here in ISUPK. Gather you together. You understand? And the biggest enemy is the spiritual warfare that America has put on our mindset. You understand? We got more women proud to be proud and independent than to be wives. Think about that. More sisters are more proud of being proud and independent than to be wives. You got brothers. Do you understand? The brothers rather be glorified in what they do than to glorify in what we do. Meaning this, brothers don't want to so much come together. You know, brothers want the spotlight. It's a very selfish society we live in. And again, all of it goes back to the propaganda that America fed us. Why? I could prove it. Well, do you understand, before integration, we had over an 80% marriage rate in our households. This was post-slavery. We still broke. The only thing we had was each other, and we were doing just fine in that. 80% marriage rate in our household, meaning man and woman was coming together, fighting a war together as a family. And guess what? The generations that they produced from that were a lot better off than what we're producing today as men and women in society. Simply because we came together, we stuck together, we loved together, we fell together. There's power in us just simply being together. A lot of people are not going to get this, but that's what Christ meant when he said, when one or two are gathered, know that I am in the midst of thee. Us gathering together brings the power of God. No other nation can say that. When Israelites gather together in unity, the power of God is amongst them, according to the scriptures. So why wouldn't we want to do that? Because of what the propaganda America fed us. You better off without that black man. You don't need her. She got 10 baby daddies and this, that, and the third. She used garbage. Or she too this, she too old, she too whatever. No, we need all that. Go ahead, bring them kids. You understand? Bring yeah, I know, brother. Don't worry, you broke. It's all right. We're gonna fix you up. You come over here. She gonna bring her kids. You gonna bring your low income, your depression and everything else. Come on. And guess what? We're gonna gather together and we're gonna build us up. We're gonna give each other a reason to fight this fight. I'm gonna be your reason, you be my reason. That's what we gonna do here in America. Because we're going to gather together. We are that nation. And that's what time it is. I mean, I don't understand what more you need to see. After I get done with the book of Maccabees, I'm about to go into, I promise you, after I got a couple more chapters of Maccabees. After I go into Maccabees, I'm literally about to go into the signs of the times. And we're about to show in real life how all these signs are right now. The only thing I can't show you is Christ's return. That's about it. But I can either show you it happening or it on the horizon right now. We're going to get into that in a couple weeks. We're not finished Maccabees. You start something, you got to finish it. So that's what it is. So now, verse 7. Now, as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived. And they answered with a loud voice, saying, Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan thy brother. Meaning they want him to lead now, right? Fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou commandest us, that will we do. This is something that our forefathers and foremothers understood. We can't win this war individually. We need leadership. We need righteous leadership. The one thing I learned about being in the truth is if I'm ever the man over me, if I'm the person I answer to, then we're doomed. Every man, every woman needs a man that they answer to. That is how our nation operates. Every man, every woman needs a man they answer to. Meaning when they say it, I don't care how much in your spirit you convicted to do it. When that man above you say it, you shut what is in your spirit down to obey what you were told. We all need it. You know where it comes from? Christ. Christ did that exact same thing with the Most High. Remember when Christ said, I'm paraphrasing, will you take this cup from me? He didn't say, hey man, take this cup from me. He said, will you take this cup from me? But if it be thy will only. Meaning what I'm going through is hell. I don't want to go through it. Please don't put me through it. But only if it's your will, Father. And well, the Father didn't take that cup from him. And when the Father didn't take that cup from him, he didn't revolt. He didn't fight back. He didn't yell. He didn't get mouthy. He didn't get loud. He took the cup. And that's what we got to do as men and women if we're going to build our nation. It's going to be a lot of things we don't feel like doing or going through. But we got to take that cup. That's what it means to bear your cross. You can't bear your cross if you can't obey an order. You can't obey, you can't bear your cross if you can't obey the simple things as the law, statutes, and commandments. How you gonna bear your cross? You ain't got a cross, because every time you get the cross, you put it down to do what feel good, to do what you think is right. Well, that ain't how a nation is operating. That's not how we run. That's not how we obey God. We all must answer to somebody. I'm proud to say I got a man above me right now. If he call, I'm gonna tell y'all, hey, Salakia, give me 1 second. I'm gonna answer this phone. And if he tell me to shut down class, I'm gonna shut down class. If he tell me, hey, run class for extra 2 hours, work. I'm gonna have to just be tired at work because I'm running class for an extra 2 hours. And I am proud that I have a man to answer to, because guess what? That's what we all need in the first place. The Lord shows us that in the family structure. You understand? The dad is the head of the household, meaning that's the man that the whole house answers to. But guess what? That man, even in the family structure, has a father that he should be able to go to in righteousness and say, hey, I'm going through this. I think I should do this, but I'm not sure. And that father should be able to give him the instruction because he got it from his father. That has always been the structure of a righteous household, family, nation. That's how we operate, man. But America propagated us to hate each other. America propagated us to literally find each other as the smallest thing in the earth. Like outside the truth, black men look at the black woman as just outside of, now this is one thing I will say, this is how cold y'all is. I ain't gonna lie, like quick sidebar. As many baby daddies as y'all got, as much whoredom as y'all do, as much twerking as y'all do on the internet, as half naked as y'all be, and believe me, we can't stand none of it. Believe me, I'm one of them. I can't stand none of it. But even in that, we still like it all. But she's still the coldest thing on earth. I mean, God, she's still the coldest thing on earth. Like you be looking at them sometimes, like, man, I wish I could just put some clothes on you and show you how to be loved. You understand? Like that. That's how cold the Lord made you. You understand? But even in all that, most black men, especially outside the truth, find those women as the bare minimum. Meaning what? They can say, I love the black woman, this, that, and the third, but how many did you marry? When you laid with her, did you keep her? Or did you just make a child and go, or find a reason to go? When she had problems and then you knew they were arising, did you quit on her? Did you make excuses? Or did you say, hey, we need to attack this demon. Let's fix it. Most men aren't doing that because they find them as the lowest of the low, which is unfortunate because really those are the greatest women on earth, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American women. It's not even close. I mean, when women go get plastic surgery, they want the lips of our women. They want the hips of our women. They want the breast of our women. They want the hair of our women. They want everything like our women. They want the skin. That's why they tan all the time. They really want to be like our women. But yet we can't see that because of the propaganda America has fed us. That's the war we're fighting today. This is why you got priests like me and men greater than me that's fighting this war. And this is why anytime we speak, it sounds like we hate you. No, we just hate the demon that you dwell with. That's it. We love you, sis. We love you, brother. But the demon that we know you dwell with, that's what we hate, and that's what we're fighting. You say, how you know they dealing with a demon? Because all of us was dealing with the same ones. I know the demon. We know the weed demon. We know the addict demon. We know the drunkard demon. We know the whoredom demon. We dealt with it. We wasn't. We do it with that demon too. The only difference between me and you, we chose to overcome it, and you still don't even see the demon. But that's why we're here. We're going to help you see the demon. Let's keep moving on. Verse 10. So then he gathered together all the men of war and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem, and he fortified it round about. Also he sent Jonathan, the son of Absalom, and with him a great power to Joppa, who casting out them that were therein remained there in it. So Tryphon removed from Ptolemais with a great power. Ptolemais is just in Egypt, y'all. That's all that is. With a great power to invade the land of Judea, and Jonathan was with him inward. But Simon pitched his tents at Adida over against the plain. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Jonathan and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying, Whereas we have Jonathan thy brother in hold, it is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure concerning the business that was committed unto him. So he basically saying, y'all, he owed me money, and you ain't gonna get your brother back till I get this money. See, when you look at it, when you read this, you want to understand the context and the spirit that he's in. Imagine, I hate to put it like this, but imagine you owe a big time drug dealer. You done got into a great debt, and now he's still your little bit brother or your big brother or something like that. He says, yeah, he owe me this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna need that, or else. We know what the or else is. So that's what's really going on here. That's the spirit of a wicked king. That's what a drug lord really is, the spirit of a wicked king. And that's what's going on right here. So, verse 16, wherefore now send 100 talents of silver and two of his sons for hostages, that when he is at liberty, he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go. Whereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto him, yet sent he the money and the children, lest peradventure he should procure to himself great hatred of the people. Why did he feel that way? Because remember, Jonathan was the leader before him. If the people find out that Jonathan is still alive and he didn't do anything to try to go get that leader, think about what they're going to say. Oh, he might have set his brother up. He just wanted to rule. He just wanted to rule the people. He just wanted to rule Israel. So instead of having the people have that on their mind, he said, let me just do what I can to try to get my brother back. Reading on. 18, who might have said, because I sent him not the money and the children, therefore is Jonathan dead, which is just what I explained. 19, so he sent them the children and the 100 talents. Howbeit, Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go. And after this came Tryphon to invade the land and destroy it, going round about by the way that leadeth unto Adora. But Simon and his host marched against him in every place, wheresoever he went, meaning wherever he was at, they was right there ready for war. I don't know if you know this, but that's how you got to be with them demons in your life. Wherever they at, you got to be right there ready for war. You got an addiction demon, be ready to fight the addiction. Do whatever you got to do. But you fight that addiction. You got a whoredom demon. Do whatever you got to do to fight the whoredom. You like sleeping with many women, many men? Do what you got to do to fight it. It might hurt a little bit. Matter of fact, it's going to hurt if you're really fighting it, because that's what war is about. War hurts. It's going to be a little bit of pain in there, but you fight it. Wherever it's at, you meet it at the door. That's going to let that demon know, oh, this ain't the one I want to mess with. This brother, this sister here, this ain't who I need to be dealing with like this. This is why I'm paraphrasing, but I think it was Christ who said, resist the devil and he will flee. You resist the devil by going to war against the demon. You go to war against that demon. That's how you resist. And eventually he will flee. Let's keep reading. So now where I want to go. Okay, I'm about to skip down for time's sake. Give me 1 second where I want to be. All right, so verse 23. And when he came near to Bethshameh, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. So now he did what he had to do to try to get his brother back, but it didn't work. So that wicked king or that wicked drug king, drug ruler, however you want to look at him, he actually killed his brother. He got the money he wanted, he got the children he wanted, and he still unalived his brother. That's really something you got to learn dealing with the heathen. You really can't trust them. And the scriptures tell us that. You never can trust your enemy. That's biblical. Matter of fact, let's just get it real quick. So like, all right, this is the book of, what do I want? Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, verse 10. It reads, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Meaning iron is going to rust. It might not happen as soon as you think it will. It might last a little bit longer, but eventually iron will rust. Well, so will his wickedness be. It might not happen immediately. It might not happen right off, but eventually you will see that wickedness, because that's what your enemy is. That's what the Lord made. I'm sorry to say it, but that's how the Lord set this world up. Nation versus nation. It's just, he said, there's a nation I'm going to be with and watch us prevail one way or another. The Lord is about warfare. You should be too. So now let's get back to it. First Maccabees chapter 13. We'll start at 23 again. And when he came near to Bethshameh, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. 24. Afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. Then sent Simon and took the bones of Jonathan, his brother, and buried them in Modin, the city of his fathers. So pretty much he buried them where his family was, right? Well, the city where his family was from. 26. Now listen to this. And all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days. 27. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site, with hewn stone behind and before. So he made this great monument unto his brothers. You understand? Now listen to this part. This is what I want people to listen to. Listen to this. Verse 28. First Maccabees 13 and 28. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father, his mother, and his 4 brethren. So my question is, how did Simon know how to make a pyramid? Can anyone answer that? How did Simon know how to make a pyramid? I'll give you a quick second to answer. Quick second. I'm trying to get my phone activated again. So give me a second. How did Simon know how to make a pyramid? Anyone got an answer on that? Give us about 20 more seconds. If nobody got it, no sweat. I'm going to go ahead and give us the answer. No, I'm going to do that thing. Let's see here. That's what I know. So, okay. All right, looks like nobody got the answer. No sweat. I get it. I get it. So we're going to read it again and we're going to break it down. We're going to read it again and we're going to break it down. So remember, the question is, how did Simon know about pyramids? How did he know how to build a pyramid? So it says, moreover, 1 Maccabees 13:28, moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father, his mother, and his 4 brethren. So now, understanding how to build anything, our knowledge comes from the Lord. Our wisdom comes from the Lord. I know that sounds very spiritual and religious, but that's a reality. Now, I'm going to prove it through the scriptures so you'll understand what I mean. Let's just get to it. Let's go to Genesis 7. Let's go to Genesis 7 and 11. Book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 11. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up, and the windows of heaven were open. So it said, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up. Does anyone know what that means? Does anyone know what that means? What does it mean when it says the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up? What does that mean? Give you about 10, 20 seconds. No sweat. So when it talks about the fountains of the great deep being broken up, this is talking about the fountains that are found in the ocean, meaning at the bottom of the ocean, there are fountains of water, and that was broken up to release, to flood the earth. That water deep down within earth, up under the ocean, meaning it's not in the ocean water, not the very bottom of the ocean, under the ocean. So now my question is, how would Moses ever know that there's water under the water? I'm sure we can all agree he had no method of getting down there, no technology, none of that. So how did Moses know there's a fountain under the actual deep, at the deep end of the ocean, or the ground of the ocean? How did he know that? I'll give him about 10, 20 seconds, see if anybody can answer. How did Moses know that? Because he obviously wrote it. He said that's how the earth flooded. The fountains of the deep were opened up. Yeah, the fountains of the great deep were broken up. So how did he know that? Especially at this time. They didn't have technology to go down there. Shoot, a couple billionaires just tried to get down there. They all died going down there. Those were the billionaires that could have invested in going down there without them even having to go down there. And yet still, they tried and they unalived themselves. So how did Moses know? Let's go figure out. Let's figure this out. Proverbs chapter 8. Proverbs chapter 8. And let me see. I want to start. Let's start at 26. Do I want 26? Let's start at 22. We'll read 22. Proverbs 8 and 22. The Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. So when it talks about possess me in the beginning of his way, it's talking about wisdom. The wisdom of God was possessed in the beginning of his way, meaning wisdom has always been with the Lord. Wisdom has always been with the Lord. So his wisdom, his knowledge, you understand, has always been since the beginning. So it says, the Lord possessed me in the beginning of his way, before his works of old. I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning or ever the earth was. When there were no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water. Before the mountains were settled, before the hills was, I brought forth. So it's saying before all this was, I brought forth, meaning the wisdom of God brought this forth. The wisdom of God brought this forth. You understand? 26. While as yet he had not made the earth, nor the fields, nor the highest parts of the dust of the world. 27. When he prepared the heavens, I was there. When he set a compass upon the face of the depth. So he said when he prepared the heavens, the skies, he was there, or she was there, meaning the wisdom. You understand? And then it says when he set a compass upon the face of the depth, meaning the depths, which is the depths of the waters and the deep down, the deep places within the earth, wisdom was there, meaning the Lord has that knowledge. The wisdom of the Lord has that knowledge, right? That's all a part of his wisdom. 28, when he established the clouds above, when he strengthened the fountains of the deep. So the Lord did this through wisdom. The Lord did this through wisdom. Now, you say, okay, so the Lord did it with his wisdom, his knowledge. What does that mean? Well, this is what it means. This is what it means. And this is why we always say, obey God. Everything you want comes from the obedience of God. Watch this. We want Deuteronomy chapter 4, we'll read verse 1 and we'll skip down. So this is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, not everybody, Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live and go in and possess the land which the Lord God of your fathers giveth you. You understand? So now let's skip down to verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. 6. Keep therefore and do them. Listen to this. For this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that have statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? You understand? Obedience to this law is the simplistic way of how we got the knowledge of God, the wisdom of God, to understand the fountains of the deep, the ways of the clouds, the movements of the earth. Meaning we obeyed God, and through his law, statutes, and commandments, through the wisdom of God, that's how we got it. So how did we know how to build pyramids? The wisdom of God. How do we know that there was water underwater? The wisdom of God. How do we understand what foods are clean or unclean? The wisdom of God. You understand, we weren't cutting animals open and doing scientific experiments to say this is a clean animal, that's an unclean animal. It was the wisdom of God. How are we going to get up out of this captivity? The wisdom of God. This is why we have to come back to that wisdom. Because the Most High God has all the answers. We just have to open our heart and our minds to listen. There's nothing we can't learn if we open our minds and heart to listen. You understand? The Lord knows our desires and he'll give them to us. He said that. He says, you ask of me and I'll give it. So he said it. You want to know how to build a pyramid? I'll give it to you, but you got to give me something first. Your obedience. You got to come to me in obedience in the same spirit that Simon did, that Esther did, that Moses did, that Christ did. You got to come to me in that obedience to even begin to get that wisdom that you truly seek. But if you do, I'll give it to you. That's nothing. That's how we knew how to build pyramids. That's how we understood the fountains of the deep. That's how we understand life today. We're obedient to the wisdom of God. Of course, if anyone has any questions on that, feel free to ask. So let's finish this up. All right, so skipping down, blah, blah, blah. Let's see where we at. Pyramid. Device, blah, blah, blah. So let's skip down to 45. So it reads, First Maccabees 13 and 45. In so much as the people, hold on one second, I'm a little parched. Insomuch as the people of the city rent their clothes and climbed upon the walls with their wives and children and cried with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. See, once Simon took control, he went to war against all those that were bringing abominations into the house of Israel. And the brother was so bold and so cold, just like his brothers and his father before him. They got to a point to where they would say, hey, please, all right, you win. All right, no more pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You win. Okay, all right, no more Christmas. You got it. All right. Christmas or Christianity, religion. No, we're done. I'm sorry. What birthday? I don't even know what you're talking about. No, please, peace. That's all we want. Because he was getting rid of all those things. You understand? Verse 46, and they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness, but according to thy mercy. You understand? And this is something to show you. This is before Christ. People want to say, well, he brought in the law of mercy. Mercy is a part of the law. When Christ was talking to that woman and she got caught in adultery, she could have been unalived, but Christ gave her mercy. He said, go, sin no more. He didn't say go and, and just have a little faith and, just you'll be okay. No, he said, go and sin no more. Because that's what mercy is. The mercy is you deserve death, but we won't give you death. Just go sin no more. If you can do that, that'll be greater than you dying. Because now you can come alive because you sin no more. The greatest thing Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can do is to sin no more. That's our calling in life. To learn how to get to a point to where we sin no more. You want to watch America fall, learn how to sin no more. You want to put your family back together, learn how to sin no more. You want to beat addiction, learn how to sin no more. That's what we're called to do. So 47, Simon being in the same spirit as Christ. So Simon was appeased towards them and fought no more against them, but put them out of the city and cleansed the houses wherein the idols were, and so entered into it with songs and thanksgiving, meaning he cleansed it out. The action of him cleansing it out was him saying, go sin no more. I'm not just going to let you stay in the house and have mercy on you. I'm going to have mercy on you by throwing you out the house and cleansing it. "48, yea, he put all uncleanness out of it and placed such men there as would keep the law." So now you can only stay here if you're going to keep the law. Again, obedience is our greatest weapon. Obedience to the Most High God is the greatest weapon a Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, or child has. And it's the one weapon most of us choose to never follow or never use. Obedience is the greatest weapon we have, y'all. That's what we got to tap into. So yeah, he put all uncleanness out of it and placed such men there as would keep the law, and made it stronger than it was before, and built therein dwelling place for himself. They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and a great number of them perished through famine. Meaning they had so many abominations. Once he cleansed it out, the ones staying there, they couldn't fight the urge. The demon defeated them. So since they couldn't go get their pork, shrimp, crab, or lobster, they unalived themselves essentially. They were famine. We don't know what to do. I can't eat any shrimp. I can't eat any pork. What do you want me to do? Well, he took all that out. There is no more uncleanness. So now what are you going to do? You're going to obey. You're going to go get some lamb. You're going to go get some salmon. You're going to go get some chicken, some turkey, whatever you got to do. That's what they should have done. But obedience wasn't in their heart. That's why they perished. Verse 50, then cried they to Simon, beseech him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. When he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollutions. Most High in Christ. And y'all wonder why we don't let anybody into our school. Because we come in that same spirit. We putting out all uncleanliness. All uncleanliness cannot be, it's got to go. No uncleanliness can be inside of the Isupk. This is the house where we cleanse from all uncleanliness, meaning we obey the law, we keep the law, we teach the law, we live the law. Because we don't want any uncleanliness in our house. And this is why the Lord is blessing us to have another glorious Passover. Most High in Christ. Can't wait. I know that. Reading on. Verse 51. And he entered into it the 23rd day of the second month in the 170th and first year, with thanksgiving and branches of palm trees, with harps, cymbals, with viols, hymns, and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. See? He ordained also that day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company. 53. And when Simon saw that John his son was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the hosts, and he dwelt in Gezerah. So now he was passing on that family lineage to the next generation. Why? Because just like his father built him up, Mattathias, to be a glorious brother and servant of God and for his people, that's what he built his son up to be. You understand? That's what we build men up in the Isupk to be. And the men in the Isupk build their sons up to be that. Lord, allow that's what I can build my son up to be, my sons. But guess what? If I'm not ready to go to war daily with the way and the propaganda of America, I shouldn't even think of my sons being greater than me. Because they will be destroyed if I don't go to war daily. And that's one of the things that holds me on to fight. I don't care what no one says. This truth is life. Because it's the only hope for my sons to be greater than me. I know they can be worse than me. That's what we all do. We all find a way to be worse than the generation before us. But I want my sons to be greater than I. In obedience to the Lord, it's the foundation to it all. Most High in Christ. So with that, we are Isupk out of 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, in the commanding general Yohana. Of course, we teach Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible, history, archaeology, and anything else you may need for your understanding. I am priest and officer Yahweh Thumb of the Isupk in Dayton, Ohio. If you're in Dayton, Ohio, or the surrounding areas, hit us up, DM us, back, I don't know, whatever they're called. Just hit us up. Dayton Israelites on every platform. You see Dayton Israelites, you'll see my face there. I'm looking like I don't want to be there because I don't like taking pictures. Okay. But hit us up anyway. All right. With that being said, shalom. Peace, Israel.